the last video I was talking about, blue's my favorite color, be quiet. But the last video I was talking about how the drawbacks, I was trying to get into the drawbacks. So about how manipulation goes. So every time you interact with a person, you have to implement that form of manipulative tricks, or you have to manipulate them, right? And eventually those people are going to automatically become immune to the manipulation that you're doing. And you're going to have to start implementing new forms. Hold on, let me close this door. You're going to have to start implementing newer and newer forms of manipulation out of the total 101 manipulation tactics. So manipulating is not very good, because when you interact with that person, your target, you're going to manipulate them every time you meet them, right? Every time you meet them, right, after a certain break, right? Like, for instance, let's just say if I was manipulating a friend, and then today, and then I hung out with them again tomorrow, I would have to manipulate them again. It's just time consuming. It's a lot of energy that's being spent. Not only that too, but also they are going to become eventually, on a long enough timeline, immune to you implementing that form of manipulation. So you have to switch and swap between 101 manipulative tactics and tricks. I mean, you could just pick one or two, right, or three. But eventually, if the person is paying attention, okay, if they study patterns, they're going to start to see that you have a pattern to you, and they're going to want to not hang around you, right? So don't worry, the worst is coming. Now, where it really starts to get even more so dangerous for why you shouldn't manipulate, and why did I say that eventually everyone is going to have to stop manipulating, is because because I have something called, that I developed. I call it passive manipulation, and then active manipulation. Passive manipulation is something that we all do. We cannot get away with it. It's just the natural undercurrent of how existence works. What do I mean when I say passive undercurrent? Passive manipulation. If I was to ask a friend of mine to pass the fork, while we're at some sort of buffet or whatnot, and they did it, it's passive. It's not meant to hurt the person, right? It's more so something where the person, is volunteering to do it. Active manipulation, yeah, the person is volunteering to do it, but you're influencing them or pulling certain strings behind the scenes that they are not necessarily aware of, because you're layering your attack. And that's where the mistrust comes into place. That's where the distrust comes into place. That's where the danger comes into place. Because when you're actively trying to manipulate somebody, like I said, if they're paying attention, they are going to get caught in this. They are going to learn about the manipulative games and tactics, and they're going to start to look at you with a side eye, and they're going to start to think that you're untrustworthy. And this is where things can get out of hand. And the reason why things can get out of hand is because when it comes to manipulation, you need to know when to stop. Otherwise, you're going to create a lot of powerful and dangerous enemies. Whether it's power based upon them not having anything to lose, and they just don't care, and now you're in a situation where you're a person that has a lot to lose going up against a person who doesn't have anything to lose, or whether it's a person who has a lot more resources, more than you, and they're basically aimed all of their ammunition or a lot of their resources towards destroying you. And so you need to know when to stop, okay? This is why it is that I say that everyone is going to have to stop manipulating. They don't have a choice, because it would be quite dumb of you, anyone, to manipulate constantly, because now it's like, you're not going to be, you're not going to have this position for long, because you're creating a lot of enemies. Now, how to get out, how you get out of that situation and how you win at the manipulation game is one of two ways. You either need to eliminate the person. I'm not even going to get into that. Eliminate them. Deal with that however it is that you will, right? Whatever. Eliminate the person so that they can't lash back at you because you destroyed them, however it may be, right? Whatever. I don't condone any kind of type of going to extreme, but deal with that however you want to take it, and or making allies with the person, offering them that handshake. Here's the situation though. Most people are too caught up with attention and emotionalism to understand when they've won. So you may have eliminated the enemy, or you may have became allies with the enemy. Here's my handshake. Let's become friends. It's a better idea to be friends with me than it is to try to go against me. And what happened? Most people are so caught up with seeking attention and have their minds on the wrong things. They're so jealous-hearted. They don't know how to stop taking jabs at the person, even after they've won and they got that handshake and that person is their ally. So what ends up happening? What ends up happening is one or two things end up happening. You either create powerful enemies that you tried to destroy, that they ended up outlasting you, and the next thing you know, you have enemies with a lot more resources, or you have enemies who are powerful based upon them not having anything, so they can do anything because they don't have anything to lose. Or you created enemies where you have people who know how your inside organization works, how you think, and they're basically trying to destroy you too. Or it's a situation where people may end up having a lot more than you, but you've created so many enemies, you try going back to those people whom you screwed over in the past, and they're not necessarily going to destroy you, but they're not necessarily going to help you either. So this is why everybody needs to cut it out with this manipulation game and lying. You're only screwing yourself in the end. Ghost from the show Power, the problem that he had is why he got murked off the show is he couldn't stop manipulating. And what happened to him because he couldn't stop manipulating? He made a lot of angry and powerful enemies, passionate enemies that wanted to see him destroyed, and he got destroyed. So do with that information as you will. Eventually, everybody gonna have to stop manipulating.